Hello, I'm Dr. George Everly, and joining me today is Dr. Carolyn Fowler. We're taking an up-close and personal view of the 10 principles of crisis leadership for frontline leaders. We're taking each of the principles in this series and putting them under a bit of a microscope, adding some comments that may help them come more alive for you. We're at number 9. Number 9 is transparent, timely, and truthful communications is essential to developing and maintaining leadership credibility. It comes on the heels of number 8, which was there is no such thing as an information vacuum. When leaders aren't speaking, someone else is. So number 9 is refining that concept even a little more. Carolyn, how important is this notion transparency, timeliness, and truthfulness?
Oh, it's so important because if information is not transparent, people think that things are being hidden. If it's not too timely and people feel they need information, they'll go looking for it everywhere else. And if people think it's not truthful, they will just reject it. Absolutely. Right up front.
So social psychologists tell us that people remember the first thing they hear, and they remember the last thing that they hear. They call it the primacy and recency effects. How does that really translate into practice? That sounds a little academic. Can we really make that work?
Well, it's really making sure that you introduce the concept, that you then give people some time to talk about it, and then repeat it again. I think the thing I've learned from you, George, that I really appreciate is there is a thing which is too much repetition. Like if we do it 6, 7, 8 times and in just too many formats, people think we're being pedantic, people get confused, people think we're being repetitive. And so this idea of sort of directing attention by introducing it at the beginning and then maybe mentioning it again in the middle and closing it out at the end to confirm is probably the ideal balance of repetition.
So here's a tough one for you. Leaders are accomplished people, and we often take pride in that. What happens when we're asked a question and we don't know the answer?
Well, there's actually a very simple answer to that one. I don't know the answer. And I will find it and let you know as soon as I do. Or in fact, invite other people to see whether they have the answer. I think that's the greatest mistake we can make, is to go into any situation, especially one as complex and uncertain as this one, thinking we know everything we need to know up front, because it's evolving every day. We need to get really comfortable with saying, I don't know.
So be truthful when you don't know. And well, I like what you said also, though, and that is, I don't know now, but I'm going to try to find out for you and I'll get back to you. So you don't leave people just hanging, do you? So principle number 8 and principle number 9 really talk about not just the importance of leadership communications, but keeping it transparent, timely, and truthful. If we want to learn more about these principles and the resources that Johns Hopkins has available, where would we go?
Well, George, can I just say something before we do that?
Sure.
And it's something else that you've taught me, and that is the power of anticipating questions. Of not assuming that you know the questions that people will have. I mean, when leaders are familiar with their team, they often can anticipate the questions that they have. But creating opportunities to have people submit questions, raise questions, generate questions is so powerful, so that when we do our briefings or our huddles, we have answers to those questions. Because if I have a pressing question and I'm not hearing the answer to it, I'm preoccupied with that question. I can't hear whatever else it is you're saying to me. And so that's, I think, something that's really very helpful, to anticipate what people may want to ask you.
So anticipate questions before they're asked, answer them as best you can before they are asked, but also have an appreciation that you can't possibly anticipate everything, and to always rely on the group for that.
Absolutely.
Great. And for more information?
Well, that is, once again, at the Office of Wellbeing. Here is the email if you have any comments, suggestions, questions. And as always, if you access this web link to the Office of Wellbeing, you'll find all sorts of resources to support this series, as well as mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being during this time.
Carolyn, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
the knowledge and your experience. And we thank you for listening this afternoon.
Thank you again, George, and thank you, everybody.